In this how-to video, we will have a look at navigation records for the electronic runbook. Navigation records is a means of displaying a street name in your runbook where you may or may not necessarily have deliveries. We will begin this demonstration by going into the runbook maintenance screen. I will point out a few records in the system that are navigation records and how you can identify that they are navigation records. The first way to identify a navigation record is that the account number is usually under 1000, as your account numbers for your legitimate customers are all above 1000. The second way you can tell that it's a navigation record is the fact that there's no house number, purely just a street name. In this runbook you're looking at here, you will find that this record here is a navigation record. This record here, this record here, this record here. And you can tell and see by this example the purposes for which they are used. In the first instance, where you have a navigation record at the top, this navigation record has been established up here as this is the beginning street name. This means that even if your customer in house number 9 and 13 stops having their paper delivered, the street name will still exist. Similarly, we have a navigation record down here, Cordoba. This street needs to exist as we need to turn right into Cordoba from Merida Loop in order to turn right into San Sebastian. So it's a street that we have to go down in order to get to the next street. Again, we have another navigation record of San Sebastian here, meaning that if customer at 62 disappears because they no longer receive a publication, that street name will still exist because it's been added here as a navigational record. To reiterate, you can tell this is a navigation record by two means. There's no house number and the account number is under 1000. For the purpose of the runbook, the navigation record can be used in exactly the same way as any other customer account. Any of these fields can be edited, meaning that the navigation record has to be sequenced into your round order. It needs to have a street name. You can add a street note or address note to it if you need to, and which address note can be very handy if you're using a navigation record for creating a listing for say a commercial premises where you might not necessarily have an account. So if you have any retail accounts that you wish to display to your driver, you can use a navigation record to add that extra line in there so you can enter the business name, for example, Hyundai or Port Kennedy Tavern, so that the driver knows to deliver to that premise, even though they may not necessarily have a residential account. Then you can also specify a direction for that record. So in all respected for all respected references, the navigation record in the maintenance screen can be used as any other normal customer account record in terms of the data entered and how the fields are referenced and labeled. To assign a navigation record to a round group for a specific day, you need to do the following. We will go up to the select drop-down menu and we will select go to nav records. This will create a second screen, as you can see by the note here. This is a new screen that you can drag and move anywhere on the screen. So we will acknowledge this message. What this means is that I can click and hold in the blue window bar and I can move this window sideways. What we do next is we need to find the first available directional record. We can tell this by the fact that these records have street names on them. So what we need to do is we need to scroll downward. Just need to move this window again. I might just resize. Let's move this sideways for better handling purposes. And then what we need to do is we need to scroll down till we find the first available navigation record that does not have a street name. Here you see number 156 is blank. So obviously that was unassigned from a previous use or was never used before. To use this navigation record, you need to do three things. We will start by going into details, and will take us to the customer detail screen. This looks very similar. In fact, it is the same screen used for your normal customer accounts. To use the navigation record, we must begin by entering a street name. The second thing we need to do is to assign the navigation record to a specific round group. The third thing we need to do is go to the Runbook tab, and you need to tell the system which days you want to use this navigation record on. If you want to use it for a single day only, you force activate it on a single day. If you want to use the same navigation record across multiple days, you're welcome to force activate this record across other days as well. Once you've done this, you can click the select menu and go back to list, where the system's ready for you to select a navigation record to add to the Runbook. At this point, we will switch back to the first screen where you have the electronic Runbook maintenance screen. At this point, you will notice that the navigation record does not yet appear in the matrix. What we need to do is go to the select menu and press refresh. Once the update is complete, you will notice that the newly defined navigation record is now added at the top of the screen without a sequence number. At this point, all you would need to do is sequence the record down to where it needs to be. I'm going to use example of 95, and when I press or click on the orange background, it will slot down into the specified position. Notice that it has a street name still from its prior use, and this will be updated once you do your street name updates. Similarly, you can now alter the rest of these fields to suit your purpose. In the event that you would like to remove a navigation record, we will simply do the reverse. We will make note of the account number 156. We will switch back to our previous screen, and you can either do a select find for that account number, or you can simply find it in the list. Find it in the list, go to its details. We will remove the street name. We will remove the round group or set it back to unassigned. Go to the Runbook tab and remove the force activate. And we shall return to the list view. Once we move back to the first screen, you will notice that that navigation record no longer exists. And that concludes this how-to.